Okay, Gary Braceland, no stranger to the PubTalk stage as Bend's outdooriest guy. He was founder of Bend Outdoor Worx in 2014 and is a founding member of Oregon Outdoor Alliance. Bend Outdoor Worx was the first independent outdoor accelerator in the U.S. to help and mentor and grow early and growth stage companies in the outdoors industry. It was born to help Bend become a hub of the outdoor industry and capitalize on its unique abundance of outdoor recreational activities. He saw a need to support the local companies trying to make a mark in this industry and help support this growing economic sector in Central Oregon. Gary, what's up? Come on.
Oh, there we go. So what am I doing up here?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think I got set up. So I'm Gary Braceland, founder of Bend Outdoor Worx. Last month, we got to see two of the local companies in this year's cohort. Explore and Tailgate presented last month. There are two local companies in this year's cohort. And tonight, you get to see the two out-of-towners. We've got MoonFab over here that'll be presenting in person, and we have Cutie who will be presenting virtually tonight. So MoonFab is a completely virtual company. Matthew lives in San Francisco, and Henry lives in Memphis, and they ship from Memphis. Cutie is from Austin, Texas, and she can't be here tonight. So you might be asking, why do we have like these companies from Memphis and Austin presenting tonight? And I guess the easiest answer to that, as you just heard, over the last 10 years, I think that Bend has transitioned from a hub of outdoor recreation to a hub of the outdoor industry. And through the infrastructure and network that we've all set up here in the last decade, since BOW and OOA were born from the EDCO Outdoor Roundtables about 8 years ago, We've created this atmosphere here. As you all know, Bend's a very entrepreneurial community in general, but we've set up the outdoor infrastructure. We've had successful companies such as Hydro Flask and Roughwear and many more prove that you can do it from Bend, Oregon. So I believe in the last decade, we've truly become a hub of the outdoor industry. So this is just kind of an example of what Bend has to offer in the outdoor sector, that companies from all over the country are now coming here to tap into what we've created. With Bend Outdoor Worx, we've had companies as far away from New Zealand come here to present at our event. We've had companies from Santa Cruz and Alaska come here to go through our program. And now we have companies from Memphis, San Francisco, Austin coming here to tap into this, what we've created. So I think that's really a statement for what we've done here in Bend. And these two companies are even connected further than just Bend Outdoor Worx. MoonFab, I know, uses Algify, their digital agency, who their U.S. headquarters are now based here in Central Oregon. And Cutie uses Basecamp, Van Schuschler, who many of you know, for sales development. So we have so many resources here. We are now attracting companies from all over the country to tap into what we've created. So that's enough. I'm going to go drink my beer.
Go drink your beer, Gary.
You guys get to listen to these cool companies.
Thank you. It's great to see you. Yeah, how about a round of applause for Gary? Okay, Matt, I'm putting the broken one on the back. So if someone wants to run some batteries up to the stage, that'd be cool. All right, my friends, let's get on with it. Okay, so thank you, Gary. Thank you for bringing these companies to Central Oregon. I know EDCO's been working hard on them to stay, so it's a big deal. COCC, this is our first, let me just make sure I'm going in the right order here, guys. Thank you, Donovan. Okay. Just a little shuffling. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm back. Now, this company pitch is going to be sponsored by Ferguson Wellman Capital Management. As we approach May 29th, known as 529 College Savings Day, we encourage you to check out our blog for a video and article on this popular educational savings tool, common misconceptions about 529 plans, and how 529 savings may impact financial aid eligibility. Learn more at fergusonwellman.com. So, Tough Cutie is a new women's outdoor brand on a mission to support women from the ground up and increase diversity in the outdoors. Thoughtfully designed for the outdoor enthusiast, their Tough Cutie hikers are made with merino wool and include performance features to keep you out longer and stronger. Their first product is a premium women's hiking sock that they named Eve, the original ladies' lightweight hiker crew. Tough Cutie is the only minority-owned outdoor sock brand with a majority women-owned value chain. Founder Brittany Coleman is joining us live to share more. Brittany, are you with us? Hey, Tough Cutie. Thank you, Brittany. There we are. Okay.
Oh, that was a lovely intro. Am I good to just start?
Take it away.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you in person, but super excited to join you virtually nonetheless. And as you said, my name is Brittany Coleman. I am the founder and CEO of Tough Cutie, and we are the next multi-million-dollar women's outdoor brand, combining the ethos of third love, the social impact of Bombas, as well as the environmental consciousness of Allbirds. We are bringing something totally new to the $460 billion outdoor industry. And unfortunately, in the outdoor industry, there are a few problems. Just going to highlight them quickly. So looking at some of the existing brands that are out there, they can be a little bit male-centric, excluding the female consumer. This idea of shrink it and pink it is still very common even today. And then women of color are underrepresented in this industry, and that's kind of shown by the fact that only 1% of all outdoor retail brands are actually owned or led by people of color. And so, Tough Cutie, we are here to change all of that. We exist to stand up for women and to provide agency to individuals that have felt powerless. We code switch on our own terms, and we really leverage the power that comes with being different. And we're tough, we're cute, and we make the best damn hiking socks around. And I just want to give a little plug to Bow, because before Bow, our mantra was really simple. It was stop treating women like shit. But now it sounds a lot better. So, so hopefully you like the improvements that we've made with Bow. So our first product we're starting with, as was said in the intro, is Eve. It's a premium women's hiking sock. And from the perspective of features and benefits, she really goes toe-to-toe. I love puns, by the way, so you're going to hear a lot of those. She goes toe-to-toe with all the incumbents, but we really are staying true to our value systems in terms of ethical manufacturing and supporting women. She comes in 7 colors and sizes. I got 2 of them here. This is the gray one. This is the lavender one, but there are 7 colors and 3 sizes, and they're made right here in the United States from one of the only women-owned hosiery factories left in the country that's WRAP certified and based in the USA. And so, at this point, you might be wondering, why start this multi-million-dollar brand with socks? I get this question a lot, and it came from my personal experience in the industry, leading the sock division of another outdoor brand that, instead of deciding to design for a Jen who is getting ready to scale Mount Everest, or a Kelsey who's gonna through hike the AT. The idea was that we just feel like we can design for the girlfriend of the real outdoorsman. She doesn't need good quality gear. She's just out there to look cute and kind of be an accompaniment to the real outdoorsman. And so I was really, I didn't like that. It didn't sit right with me, and I knew that as women we deserved better, and I decided to invest in a better product for women, and this happened to be with socks. And we know that investing in women is going to lead to bigger returns, really, for everyone across the board. Honestly, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, it works everywhere. In case you didn't know, but in the outdoor industry specifically, when we look at just the change in demographics and how more women are getting outside, as well as more people of color are getting outside, there's just a huge opportunity for the right person and the right brand to get ahead of that, and we are that. And so in this, again, this $460 billion industry, our focus right now really heavily weighs on building out our wholesale business and looking at retail. And so that spans over 5,000 retail stores that, from the perspective of the entire market. And we're really focused on just getting a tiny slice of that initially, but growing that over time, starting with the outdoor specialty segment and a couple of key big retailers. You may have heard a couple of them. In terms of early traction, we did win the Title IX Pitch Fest, if you're familiar with that, which included a purchase order. And we joined a network of some of the best, most badass female outdoor brands out there. Love to talk to any of you about that later. Is Bronwyn here? Hi, Bronwyn. I hope you're in there. Hey, she's in it. If you guys know Bronwyn, I love her. And then in terms of traction, we are going to be in, for sure, 24 doors later this year, which includes 2 national and 3 specialty retailers. And then we also just were approached by REI to do a 39 store test, which we're super excited about. I don't actually know if I'm supposed to tell you that, but I did, so keep it secret. And, on the D2C side, again, less of a focus compared to some of the wholesale stuff we're doing this year, but we are super excited to test out what we're calling our buy one, give one parity promise. That's PAIR. Subscription programs. We have a really fantastic partner that we're working with called Camp Founder Girls, which is the first historically Black summer camp for girls based out of San Antonio, Texas. So really thinking about how to bring generational experiences to other women and people of color. We're super excited to partner with them and should be sending about 200 girls to camp later this year. So in year one, we're projecting a 70-30 split between wholesale and D2C. From a margin standpoint, really, really healthy. We're looking at about a 46.5% margin on the wholesale side, 75% on the direct to consumer side, which is actually above what you typically see in the outdoor industry in both channels. And then for the first year, looking at about $100,000 in revenue. We're trying to triple that the next year and then go up to $500,000 the following year. And so really excited about the potential to grow and then along the way level out that sort of D2C versus B2B ratio. And so in terms of advisors and our core team, a lot of them, they're in the room with you. A lot of them through BOW. Feel very, very grateful to have so many great advisors and people who have just really shown up for me and helped to tighten up a lot of what I already had, but sort of really take it to the next level and open up their networks and open up their homes in some cases. When I visited, just been very, very welcoming to me. I want to shout out Erin. She sent me, I was sick and she sent me a really lovely box of food. Anyway, that's quality people you guys have got there. So thank you so much for that. But the last thing I think I want to just end off on is, what is our competitive advantage? A lot of people ask this. Well, there's so many sock brands, right? There's so many out there, where people can get their merino wool socks or whatever, what have you, whatever yarn these days. And, for us, it's really about being a brand that is serving women. So we like to say that our competitors make socks for women because women have feet, but we do it because, we truly care about this issue. We truly care about getting more women outside, more people of color outside, and just being very confident when doing so and being equipped with the right quality product, regardless of whether, it's a sock, it's a shirt. We want them to know that our brand took the time to develop something that's going to be worthwhile and that's going to last a long time. And so I think this is the part where I get to ask you guys for stuff. I could use a couple things, of course. First I want to tell you our product is available for pre-order on toughcutie.com. If you want to go out and get those and test them out, I'm open to any feedback. Would love it for any of you to go and grab those. And then in terms of ask, I'm considering bringing on a co-founder, still thinking a lot about that. But if you know someone, ideally this person will already have a pretty robust social media presence, be very comfortable being front facing, very comfortable with digital marketing. Anybody like that can be helpful. Also looking for testing out a fractional CFO, so someone who can help initially with a very small engagement around scenario planning, and then it can potentially grow into something else depending on how skilled this person is. And the last thing I think is if anybody knows anywhere where merino wool is not as expensive as it is for the rest of us, if you have like some kind of secret, I don't know, discount code on merino wool, that would also be super helpful. So I think my time is up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time to present to all of you.
Thank you, Brittany. I loved your pitch. Well done. And I love your branding. And I'm just wondering, how did you get into this idea? How did you start this?
Yeah, so I worked for another brand that's going to remain nameless. It's like Voldemort, it's kind of usually shall not be named. And was managing the stock division for them. And it was, again, this idea of this shrink it and pink it. We're just going to make, cutesy, colorful products, and we're going to like hike the price up and charge more because we can. And that's how I ended up in this space, because I felt like, there is an opportunity and really like an obligation to do more, to be more thoughtful about the type of products we're putting in the market. Like, even though, again, it was just socks, quote unquote, just socks. But it really, that along with some other cultural things in terms of how women were being treated in the workplace didn't sit right with me. And I felt like at that point, like I knew enough to be dangerous, I guess. And, went out and I found a factory. It was really important to me to source from a women-owned factory because, any money that I make or that the business makes, I wanted it to flow back through to other women and supporting their businesses, which is actually really hard to do given, there aren't that many factories to begin with that are still domestic. Luckily found one that was women owned. And so, from a brand standpoint, we're making a lot of decisions that speak to who we are and why we exist, which is really to put more power in the hands of women and then deliver better quality product to the market.
I love that. Well, and it seems like there's a lot here to work with and build on. So I'm wondering if I have any audience questions. I have about 1,000 if they don't. Yes. No, you can say, I'll repeat it.
So my question is, one, I applaud you on your mission.
He applauds you on your mission.
Two,
Thank
with
you.
the U.S.-based manufacturing, are they handling your fulfillment, logistics, and distribution? And how are you planning for the 24-store opening process?
So with your fulfillment, are they covering logistics, distribution, and drop ship? And how are you planning for the 24-store launch?
Yeah, so luckily they have been in business for over 100 years, and they have worked with pretty much every major retailer that there is, and we have a really nice arrangement where they are fulfilling on my behalf. And so all of the purchase orders that I'm getting through my retailers, they are actually fulfilling those requirements. I was just like scrambling today with the vendor requirements and making sure the routing guide and all of that. So they are being fantastic in helping to check the boxes, because fulfilling to some of these bigger retailers has a lot of requirements, and they're just very equipped to meet all of them.
That's great. That's great. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Any other? Yes.
Yeah, great.
He says, great, super fun, exciting to see your pitch.
With REI, have you heard about, good luck with that opening, have you heard about their Path Ahead Ventures program?
He says, good luck with the REI opening, and have you heard about their Path Ahead Ventures program?
Yes, and I did apply, so we'll see. They're supposed to get back to me really any time now.
Oh, okay. Well, we hope you get it. Yes, Deanne. Tell me the second part again. Oh, okay. Yes, I love this question. Okay, tell us the price point of the socks, and also when are you relocating to Bend?
I know they're trying to get me. It's $24.99.
Yeah. It's
$24.99.
$24.99. Okay.
Yep.
and you're thinking about Bend?
It's growing on me. It's growing on me. I grew up in Las Vegas, which is about as hot as it can get. And so I'm like slowly, I don't want to say warming up, but like warming up to the idea of being cold consistently.
But you've got all these great socks. Like, you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine.
True.
Okay,
That is a very good point.
I have to say, too, like, socks are no small thing. Socks are really I'm like a big sock person. I'm not wearing socks right now, but
I know where you can get
I will
some.
be as soon as I get home. Okay, so one last question. I know this is very exciting. I like I said, I love the brand. You obviously have other things in mind, and I'm wondering if you want to share any of those kind of ideas or just give us some little teasers, product-based or otherwise.
Ooh, so I think, there's some fun stuff you can expect from us. You can expect us to stay in the sock world for a little while and kind of diversify the silhouettes, some of the functionality, maybe the wearing occasions into different outdoor sports. And then, after that, the brand itself could go in a lot of different directions. Because we are so niche with women, I think if you look at other brands, like a Bombas, like a Stance, right, who took a long time to diversify into other types of products. I think we can go a lot faster because we're really, keyed in on serving women. So I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know if that's going to be intimates. I don't know if that's going to be apparel, leggings, hiking gear. I mean, TBD, to be honest.
So exciting.
There's some other fun stuff I have, thoughts about too.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Well, also I want to say I love Bronwyn too. So I feel like you're halfway here, Brittany. I'm really happy for you. Really excited. I hope you'll check back in with us. Excellent pitch.
Yeah.
Everybody is really excited about your idea. So good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So next up, Moon Fabrications, who creates simple tools to make enjoying the outdoors even easier. Their first product, the MoonShade, is a packable universal vehicle awning that they started selling in April of 2020. They have seen their revenue double year over year despite being on back order more than 50% of the time. Their company is fully remote, and a handful of their team either lives on the road or have lived on the road for an extended period. Co-founders Henry and Matthew are both here to tell us more. Come on up here, you two.
Does this work? Okay, cool. How's everybody doing?
Here you go.
So do we just dive straight in? Is that how we do this?
Yeah, take it.
We're really thankful for Bend, not just because we're setting a timer for ourselves and it seems to be in some old-fashioned empirical time, but
It happened when I dropped it, and now it looks like an old stopwatch.
Well, apparently we're on a pirate ship. We're thankful for Bend, not just because we see potential customers everywhere we drive, but I'm Henry, this is Matthew, we're the makers of the MoonShade, an awning that packs down to the size of a yoga mat.
It doesn't always look like this. I will be setting this up outside.
Bend's been a really meaningful place to us. I can't remember when, but my first call from Gary Braceland was, "Hey man, we'd love for you to come up to Bow and be a part of our cohort." I didn't really know what to think about. I think that's pretty good if you know Gary.
It's really good.
But he invited us to be a part of a community, and on that phone call, we realized that Bow is our kind of people. Moon is something that's really important to the both of us, and in a very crazy season, as you heard in our intro, Bow's been a really cool mirror for us. We still often find ourselves in a March 2020 mindset where it's, holy shit, I hope we can sell some of these shades. And so to be here feels really, really crazy, and we're grateful for it. If there's nothing else you hear me say tonight about Moon, it's that our community shows up. Tuesday night, I realized that as a product company, we probably should have brought one of our products to this fine event. And so I emailed the 40 customers that we have had in Bend, and I said, hey, can anyone bring an awning, maybe your vehicle? And so thanks to Rich and Megan who came through in the clutch. One of 7 customers that emailed me back, many shared photos, and a lot of that very dedicated community comes from how we started, which is we spent the first 2 years, 2018 through 2020, kind of just developing relationships in the van space. So when we launched, we had 5 of the prominent van life YouTubers talk about this packable universal awning, and it just stuck. If you go to a truck camping forum or Google MoonShade or put MoonShade into YouTube, you're going to see a lot of content, and we're grateful for it. And being connected to the nomad community is something that we think is very core to who we are. Last year we made a little doc series that's kind of Humans of New York meets Nomads called On the Road that we're really proud of. We've made major company decisions camping in Joshua Tree. This year we're going to be putting on a big ass camp out in New Mexico called Moon Landing, October 7th through 9th if you'd like to come. And yeah, we've just had this kind of crazy momentum, great press. We were an Outsides buying guide in 2020, Wirecutter twice. But I think so much of our community wouldn't exist if we didn't have a great product. And I'm very lucky to have a co-founder who is solving a problem for himself. And Matthew can kind of tell you how he came up with this thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you about my problem. My problem was my background is in economic research, and I did like behavioral science research at Airbnb and Robinhood, and never thought I'd hear the term MSA again in my life until today. But yeah, I was looking for kind of a way out of that sort of hour-and-a-half commute rat race. Bought a van to kind of help me pinch pennies. And started seeing just a lot of interesting opportunities in this space. And one of them was the awning that you absolutely need if you have a van. And they're like $1,500 and weigh, 80 pounds. I mean, they're very cumbersome, the ones that are on the market. And I thought, I think I can do that in sort of a smaller package. And I was thinking about it, came up with an idea for basically like a giant kite, and bought a tarp and deconstructed my backpacking tent and bought some lamp fittings and hardware from Ace and put together, the first prototype, and it worked. It held together. It was really strong, and I was really excited about it. So I bought a sewing machine, started making prototypes, and it basically came up with something that fits in this bag. And I'm like I said, I'm going to set it up on the fence outside so you all can sort of so you can check it out when you leave. But yeah, just solving a problem for myself, and realized I bet I'm not the only person to have this problem.
And when you were doing that, connected with some friends at Peak Design who connected us with their manufacturing rep. So just by the numbers to date, we've done about $2.5 million in revenue. More than 95% of that has been direct to consumer through our own website. More than 60% of that traffic is direct. A lot of the rest of it is thanks to Brett and the team at Algify, who is here today. And so we're very much in a position as a company where we are finally catching up with our demand and beginning to think about what's going to happen moving forward. And there's a couple of things that are going to inform that decision mightily. The first just being, we have no idea what to project, what we're going to do direct to consumer. We were wrong in both of our first 2 years. We were out of stock from the middle of June until early August last year. And so all I've been doing since then is to make sure that would never happen again. And I accomplished my goal, and now we have a lot of inventory. But that's a good problem to have, as we like to say every day. The other big thing is we have the MoonShade XL coming out, which will be coming out maybe holiday this year, more likely spring 2023. The current MoonShade 7x9, MoonShade XL's 8x12? 9x12. We also have our first kind of major accessory to attach to the MoonShade. Actually comes out next month. It's the Moon Wall. So if you need a little more privacy, need a little more shade. And then once we roll the XL out, we're kind of beginning in earnest to explore kind of how we do wholesale. Airstream Basecamp users are a big user group. You kind of Tax Outdoors as a manufacturer we're talking to, kind of going direct to manufacturers, something we're exploring. And then we have another really big product sort of category that we're working on that we think we'll announce in fall 2023. I do my job. Yeah, if Matthew does his job. Other things you might find interesting, there's a bit of an asterisk since Matthew worked at Airbnb and Robinhood, but we have been almost fully bootstrapped.
We did take a small equity investment in December from Trent Nally. If you're fans of van life YouTube, they're the two of the first YouTubers we worked with, and we needed some cash, so that was nice. But really, they are building a van build business. There's a lot of alignment and kind of where we see all of this going. But yeah, we're really proud of Moon, and we've just been so grateful for Bow. As we're kind of transitioning, we're learning a lot about this famous Bow pro forma that we are filling out more and more effectively every day. But we're just grateful to this community. We know that Bow and Edco are kind of all connected, and as someone who lives in Tennessee, who lived in Texas for a long time, it's just really cool to see what all y'all provide for your communities, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here. Did I miss anything? If there's anything that we could ask for, if anyone wants to help us figure out what our market size is, we would love that. We've kind of just gone after people that know what vehicle awnings are so far. But yeah, we'd love to talk. If you have any idea on that, if anyone, I'm Henry at moonfab.com, Matthew at moonfab.com. Reach out anytime. We'd love to answer any questions that you might have.
Great pitch. Thank you. I have a question. So, was there something very noticeable that shifted for you once you started working with Bow and with Gary?
Your accent change of voice.
Well, it just gets in your blood. I think that, I know for me, it's just been having multiple of the mentors turn to us and affirm that, yes, this is super crazy what's happening, but it's a good thing. I think it's hard to get out of. Moon's not my first company. I ran a marketing agency in Austin for 6 years that worked with kind of startup and a couple outdoor retail brands, which is kind of how I got into all of this, alongside a career in filmmaking. I just think a group of people to ask really stupid questions to, and not feel like, you're going to get laughed out of the room has been just a really meaningful thing for me. I don't know if you'd add anything.
Yeah, just having people to bounce ideas off of that have been through this before. I mean, it feels like very lonely, and I went from a career in research where there was no physical output of anything, and that's what I wanted to do, was create something. I worked with these product teams and worked with designers at some great companies, and I thought I want to make the cool thing. I don't want to just hand off the research and have them do it. But then you start making a thing, and all kinds of stuff that you didn't anticipate. So just having someone to ask, the stupid questions, someone to sort of nudge us to do the things that we don't want to do but really should, and the numbers that we need to know, and all these things that are just not at all on your mind. You're thinking, I'm going to start an outdoor retail company. It's going to be cool. So it's been incredibly inspiring and helpful and all the things.
I love to hear it. Okay, I think this question is mainly for you, Matthew. So for that first protocol that you made to what the product ended up being, did it change dramatically, or were you pretty right on with that first design?
It was pretty similar. I mean, really similar. If you saw a picture of the prototype, it would just look like kind of a janky version of what we have now. There were lots of little, the corners, 5% of the product is 95% of the design. There were certain things that I knew I wanted. I wanted you to be able to set it up without climbing up on your van. I wanted you to be able to set it up any direction, orient it either way. I wanted it to be really versatile. I wanted you to be able to use it anywhere. And a couple of problems that I worked on was making sure that rain didn't come down, having the attachment sort of be underneath the shade so that if rain shed off of it, it would go on the roof of the vehicle. And I had a friend that sort of mentioned something that sparked an idea so it was those corners, but everything else is the same. Yeah, pretty much.
So cool. It's so cool. I love it. Any questions for Matthew and Henry? Yes, sir, at the bar.
Correct.
So his understanding of the product is that it doesn't require a rack on top of the van.
So the question is it an accident that you discovered your market?
Is it an accident?
Did you have a van that didn't have a rack, and so you designed the product around that?
Is it an accident that you discovered this?
Good question. So I did have a van, and I designed it to fit on my van, but I knew that if I wanted to sell this to other people, I wanted to be able to work on anything. I wanted to work on I mean, my sort of like in my head, the numbers were like, I want it to work on like 80% of the vehicles out of the box. So we've developed some custom anchors. We have a custom anchor for Sprinter rails. They have a little roof rail on top. We have heavy-duty magnets that are sort of, it's like a fishing magnet with like a silicone boot on it. We have suction cups that come in the box. I mean, I could set it up on any car in the parking lot with what's in that bag. There are other, anchors that are more specialized that are sort of more sturdy.
$100 if you prove us wrong.
But yeah, the versatility was really important to me, and I wanted it to work out of the box. But I designed it for my specific situation, but with those things in mind. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Deanne. Oh.
It was a combination of a business decision and a personal
A
need.
combination of a business decision and a personal need. But there's other people
Yes.
who need this too.
Yes, absolutely. I was aware of that being a problem that I could solve for more than just me
Your
when I
other van life
started working
friends
on
were
it.
like, yes.
But that was the solution to the like, what am I going to do with my life since I don't want a regular job anymore? Yeah.
I do think that the nomad community is very much like who we feel connected to, and kind of like we feel a bit of a responsibility to hashtag van life because it created the market that we exist in. And some of that, we're kind of on season 5 of van life influencers that are like the hot couple in a van, And so that's part of what we're trying to do with On the Road and Moon Landing is, what you see on the internet is just the tip of the iceberg, but we really believe, I mean, Elon the Starlink is now mobile. I think we feel good. My business partner is an economist. We think that the nomad market is just only going to grow.
Deanne.
How much is it and when are they moving to Bend?
How much is it and when are you moving to Bend? They're nomads, Deanne. They're in, they're out. They're in, they're out.
Yeah, we don't like to be tied down. We'd love to have a presence in Bend. We always love an excuse to come back to Bend. $350 is what we currently sell for online. We are probably going to raise the price to $395 after this season, and the MoonShade XL we're looking at $495 for that.
It's a steal.
And then just for our cost of goods is about fully loaded, $125.
That's with cheap shipping.
With cheap ship, yeah, with like good, for anyone that's had to pay for containers recently, it's been a lot better recently, but it was pretty bad last year.
Yes. Two-part question. Bless you. Where is it made, and what type of protection was that?
Patent protection.
Patent protection. Thank you.
Yeah,
Do
so
you have?
made in China, and we just received our patent allowance about a month or two ago. So don't get any ideas.
What about people who are doing wagon life? Is there a product coming out for people
Wagon
who
life?
drive wagons instead of vans?
Do they still drive wagons?
I have a wagon, man.
Oh, not like stagecoach,
No,
like
yeah,
station
like-
wagon. Yeah, it goes on. It'll fit right now. $100 challenge. It'll go on there. Suction cups.
Covered magnets. That's $100.
You could
Okay.
put it on a little Mini Cooper. I mean, it'll fit on
You
anything.
could put it on a Mini Cooper. You could put it on a Fiat. Yes. How strong is it?
Oh,
Great
thank you. Did
question.
you tell her to ask that? Do you want to? You came up with the.
I think you're doing a good job.
Thanks. So we filmed this little commercial. Can I say that? Is that what it? Oh, so we filmed a little segment to sort of answer that question because that comes up a lot. If the anchor, it's basically as strong as the anchors. The little segment that we filmed was me and Trent of Trent and Alley fame with two like backpack blowers. Just we've had it set up in like 40-mile-an-hour winds. So we don't recommend that, but it's as strong as the anchors. Yeah.
We don't recommend it, but if you're in 4-mile-an-hour winds, we got you covered.
Okay, this is my last question. Does it come in different colors?
So funny you should ask. Y'all are really helping us out up here, but we do have a new colorway coming out. I think it'll land in August. I think we're calling it Moon Dust. It's like this color. It's like more of a khaki.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. You two are great. Really, this is really
Oh,
fun.
thank you.
Awesome product. Love
Appreciate
your
you.
pitch. Yeah, this is awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Please come back and check in with us again soon, you wild nomads. You wild nomads.